Hey folks, it's Jake here at Canadian Cutting Edge. Today we've got a flipper that I got from DHgate. Some of these are also available at AliExpress. These have been out for quite a while and I just never got around to doing the review. And I've learned I best do this review right now before they're just not in stock anywhere. And I'm just holding a knife with no chance of reviewing something that people can get. But these are still available for a short time. I'm sure they're going to run out soon. It comes in several different options for the G10. You've got orange. I've got a jade or kind of clear one as well. You can get it in black. You can get it in a very light tan. I also found that there is the exact same handle with a different blade shape, a fairly different blade shape. Also, they've got D2 steel on these. At least they claim it's D2 steel. I'll tell you what my tests revealed. So if you're interested in a sort of large flipper of, some significant weight, probably a little heavier than it needs to be, but some guys like heavy knives. I really don't mind a good weight either. Tip up kind of knife, made in China. No name. It's one of these rebranded ones. You can find it under several different brand names. If you want to learn some more about this thing, then stick around for the full review. Is this D2 steel? I know you're asking that question. You're definitely asking that question. I don't know. My tests that I do some corrosion tests to help me get a better idea if it's D2 steel or not. I won't say it helps me determine if it's D2 steel because it doesn't go quite that far. There's too many variables. The grain structure, coarse grain structure of the steel or a medium or very fine structure, that influences how quickly it will rust or corrode or whatever. But the way I do the test is I take 3 knives that I have that are known to have D2 steel. A Schrade, an Ontario Rat 1, and I can't recall off the top of my head what the other one is. Anyways, I've got 3 knives that I know are D2 steel, and I mix up some salt water between 4 and 5% salt content, and I, rough up the edge of the blade, just this first half here, because I just dunk this first part into water, so just the tip. So it's easy to clean up. I don't want to get salt water into the mechanism of the pivot and stuff. Yeah, I'm too picky that way. And so basically I run the test on the tip of the blade. I soak it in water, that salt water, for an hour, and then I let it sit and dry for 4 hours or more. And once I see a good result on the D2 steel blades, I then compare those blades with the blade that I'm testing, and if it looks very similar in the way it's rusting, it's probably D2. If it's not rusting anywhere near as much as the D2 blades, then it's probably a stainless steel blade. That's how I do that. Now let's talk about the specifics of this knife. What's the brand? I don't know. Rockwell, it says D2 is around 58. And when I sharpened it and when I've used it, I think the hardness is around 58. I don't have a proper tester for that. The finish on the steel here, this is a nice bead blast finish. You got that nice gray, cloudy kind of look to it. I like that. Let's get the light here a little bit better. So it's got a really good looking blade. The alternative blade that you can get with this, oh, that thing looks cool. I'll show you a picture of it right now. How much does this thing cost? Oh, anywhere from $22 US and up. You can get into $50, up to $60. The prices are all over the place. You just have to be really careful. I will give you some links in the description below. I cannot guarantee that those links will work when you try them, especially if you watch this video more than a few days after I post it, because the links are constantly dying and ending on places like DHgate and AliExpress. The links go away when they sell out on their knives. So what do we have? We've got a liner lock. That's a thick, heavy liner lock. That's why they've got a relief cut on the liner right there. You've got a flipper arm right there. Flips very well. You've got a nice finger guard because of it. Don't use that as a forward finger thing because you'll cut your finger on the cutting edge. It's just a nice big sharpener's choil. Nice hole up here. When you're cutting through things, this really high saber grind acts like a full flat grind, so it's not that hard to cut through things. Handle has got G10 on it. You can get it in several colors, and you can see the thick liners here. There's no skeletonization in there. There's no relief cuts behind there. I wish there was. This knife could be lighter. Open pillar construction, and it's kind of cool. This open pillar's got 2 lines in it that are cut out, and this one's just got 1. And same is true of that one. You've got liner exposed here. The G10 comes down a bit. You've got a proprietary kind of a triangle 3-lobe kind of pivot screw there. You can easily get that adjusted if you use a flat screwdriver that fits in there. I did that. It did mar up the edge just a tiny bit. Princess Auto in Canada or Harbor Freight in the United States, you can buy screws, drivers, I should say, that have 3 lobes on them. Just sand down the tip a little bit and it'll fit in there and work just fine. Or you can look around DHgate and AliExpress and find the exact key for that. I wish they would provide it, and some vendors do, other vendors don't. The rest of the screws are Torx, easy to take apart. You've got ball bearings in the pivot. I'll show you what this thing looks like stripped down. You can see it right now. There's no blade play. Lockup on this one is close to halfway across. Lockup on this one is, right at around halfway, maybe a tiny bit more than that one, but it's rock solid, no blade play, back and forth, up and down. Alignment when you close it is almost perfect, and that's true on both of mine. Very nice. There's a lanyard hole back here, so you can use this with a lanyard if you want to. Pocket clip has got this sort of stand up kind of posts on it that it stands on, and then it's just like a thick, heavy spring steel. And let's show what it looks like going in and out of the pocket. It squeezes quite hard. You can see this little, what do you call it, a pucker? That's because it actually holds very, very well on there. Of course, it's right side only, tip up with the pocket clip. No option to put it on the other side, unfortunately, for the left-handed guys. Looks rather nice. The detent is quite strong. It's not going to accidentally open up very easily. It would take a fair bit. So if I wanted to carry this on the left side, and I have done it, I've carried, it was this guy on my left side for 4 days in a row. It never once opened in the slightest at all. The detent on it is so good. It just, sucks in there. Nothing's exposed for it to catch on. Of course, you have the flipper arm, but then it's down on the bottom, and you'd have to push up on it quite hard to get it to start to open. I had no concerns at all with it being in my left pocket, and it worked just fine. Sometimes I did grab it if I just did early on my finger right there and had my hand like that. That works okay. Fits in the hand really well. Reverse grip, not the best. This kind of reverse grip, a little bit uncomfortable as well. But with the blade forward kind of reverse grip, that works just fine. And just about any other grip that you want. Fits really good. Pinch kind of grip. Sneak up. Very good, comfortable knife. Let's talk about the dimensions now. We've got a cutting edge of 9.2 centimeters, 3.6 inches. Blade length, so from the apex of the circle on the pivot here to the tip of the blade, 9 centimeters, 3.5 inches, so less than the cutting edge because it comes forward of there. Blade thickness, this is a 4 millimeter blade. That's 0.16 inches. The thickness of the edge behind the grind, 0.55 millimeters. That's 0.022 inches. That's a very good thickness for a knife blade that's over 3.5 inches long. The handle length is 12.1 centimeters, 4.75 inches. The grip area, 9.3 centimeters, 3.7 inches. Handle thickness, not counting the pocket clip, is 1.75 centimeters. That's 0.69 inches. The total length of this knife when it's open, 21.1 centimeters, 8.3 inches. It weighs 6.5 ounces, 185 grams. I wish it was under 6 ounces. It doesn't turn me off. I don't mind heavy knives. I'm a big, heavy guy, and I like having a big, heavy knife. It just suits me, and it suits my personality. But if it doesn't suit yours, keep looking. Go get something else. What do I think of this knife overall? If you can find it at under, $30 US, I think you make a pretty good deal to buy this knife. If you like the styling, if you don't mind the factors about the proprietary pivot, a little bit of weight, if you don't mind those things, it's definitely worth it. Once you start getting into more than $30 US, I don't really think that it's staying within that range of what I would want to pay for it. But hey, you might want to. I am very much desiring the knife that's got the other blade shape. That other blade shape is very nice. In fact, I thought I bought one of each and ended up buying two of the same blade. Kind of disappointed. I still might want to buy one of those. I'm willing to sell one of these if you want to buy it, and I'll sell it for $20 US, and that's shipped to anywhere in Canada. $25 US, and I'll ship it to anywhere in the United States, and that is with my sharpened edge on it. And there's a tiny little bit of wear on it. You can pick which one you want, this G10 or the orange. I don't mind. The white one here, it's got a couple little marks on the steel, and they actually came that way. They don't come perfect. It's part of that mass-produced rebranding kind of knives, but it's in pretty good shape. Both of them are in very good shape. They both work very well, and I'll sharpen up this guy if you want me to sharpen it up on my TS Prof to a nice, very close to mirror finish. And if you want it for that price, go ahead. If you are somewhere else in the world and you want this, send me an email. Well, even if you want it from Canada to the United States, CanadianCuttingEdge@gmail.com, and I'm willing to sell this to you. Big, heavy, robust knife, kind of cool, kind of fun. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Remember, guys, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb.